Hello, everyone, and welcome to Two Show Day. I'm your host, Diana Shabai Booker, and today joining me, my guest is an actor and director and producer, and I'm very excited to welcome Evan Jones.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here. How are you today?
I'm great.
Great.
Excited to be here.
Wonderful. Right off the top, you are a unique guest because we did not meet during Spring Awakening.
Yes, yeah.
Most of my guests are. You and I met when you produced The Pillow Man at Albany Civic Theater earlier this year.
That's right.
Yeah.
I've known Ellen Cribbs for years.
Mm-hmm.
She directed Pillow Man. I was in her first play when she moved here from Chicago.
Oh, really?
We were in Dead Man's Cell Phone together at Albany Civic Theater.
Okay.
And she's just incredible. So anytime she asks me to work on a project with her, I'll say yes, just because she's so good.
Yeah. I love working with Ellen. Even on a weird, dark show like Pillow Man, it was like, no, if she's going there, I'm going there too.
Yeah. Yeah, we had to fight for that show.
Oh, really?
We had to fight to get that show chosen.
Because it's
a tough show.
Absolutely,
it's so dark, and it's just really tough. But thankfully we got it, and they trusted us with it.
Yeah. No, and she did an incredible job and was so careful with it, and
I think that exceeded expectations.
Oh, good.
Because I think a lot of people, if they know the show, they know this is a really tough show, and it's hard to make it enjoyable.
Sure.
Because it's just so dark and mean. But I think she did it. Yeah,
absolutely. I definitely remember, I think it was at our talk back, people were like very not sure if they could laugh at like the parts that are jokes, because like you go into it like, oh, this is dark, but it's like, no, there's balance, and there's like all things in here. But
you're allowed to laugh at dark things,
right?
Yeah, especially in a theater.
Yeah, that's the time. Yeah, exactly. Well, amazing. So Evan, how did you first get into the arts?
So I've always been like a movie person.
Okay.
Like, even when I was a little kid, I loved watching movies.
Yeah.
And I would, do little performances for my family.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd do the entirety of like Ace Ventura: Pet Detective for my family when I was like 6 years old.
I love that. Yeah.
And I never really pursued it like in middle school or high school. I was always interested in stuff, and I had friends who liked movies, and we would make little short, stupid films, we'll say. But I never really applied myself theatrically. And after high school, I wanted to be a writer.
Okay.
I wanted to write screenplays and potentially plays, but screenplays in particular. Mm-hmm. So I just Googled screenplay class like Albany or something like that.
Yeah.
And I saw that SUNY Albany had playwriting and screenwriting courses as part of their theater curriculum.
Okay.
So I said, well, that's where I'm going.
Amazing.
So I signed up, became a theater major. I took acting because it was required. And during that, I was like, oh, I like this. Like, I think I've got something here.
Interesting.
I feel talented right now. Like,
so that was your first time, like, in the theater
pretty
world.
Much.
Wow.
Like, I had done. I went to Ballston Spa High School, and they had intro to theater, and my senior year they made intro to acting, and I took those classes. Okay. But again, I didn't really apply to myself. I was just kind of screwing around. Sure. I think. So it wasn't really until college that I kind of took it seriously. And the acting kind of took over, and the writing kind of went off to the side, and I kind of focused more on acting, and then eventually into directing.
Yeah, that's very cool. So did you have or was that perhaps your like Ring of Keys moment in college where you were like, oh yeah, this is something I want to keep doing? Yeah. Yeah.
Once I like felt good doing it, I said, yeah, this is there's something here.
Yeah.
Like I need to pursue this as much as I possibly can.
Yeah. Okay.
And I felt like a natural fit. Like when I was in a theater, or when I was in rehearsals, or when I was receiving direction, or eventually giving direction, I just felt like just so honed in on what I was doing. And I had never really felt that in any other area.
Okay. So that's how you knew.
Yeah.
Amazing. Do you remember the first show you ever did?
Well, in fourth grade, we did a school play of Robin Hood.
Okay.
That my teacher wrote. It was
Love it.
It was essentially a stage version of Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Okay, great.
Essentially, I played the sheriff,
Very nice.
which was a great role. So that's the first play I did, and I guess when I was in kindergarten, the kindergarten chorus did like orphan singing in Oliver.
Okay, sure.
So I guess if you count that, which I really don't. So I'll say Robin Hood,
Okay.
Sheriff of Rottingham. I know, clever.
Oh my
Real
God.
clever.
Yeah. Where's that teacher now?
He's probably retired now, if I had to guess.
I was gonna say maybe they had a career in playwriting.
Maybe.
So tell me how you sort of got from into directing and producing from there.
So I started after college. I pretty much went right into the community. This community, and I was doing plays here and there. I was lucky enough in college. Patrick White did a show at SUNY Albany as a guest artist.
Okay.
So I met him very young in my theater career.
Sure.
And he was a great person to know because he knows everybody.
Right.
So he kind of helped get me started in the community a little bit. I did a couple of shows with him and Chris Foster, who had seen me in college. And I obviously, like I said, I worked with Patrick. So that was a nice foot in the door. Mm-hmm. So I just was acting a lot. And I was doing like 5 shows a year as an actor, which is a lot.
That's
Plus,
a lot.
like,
yeah.
Playwright showcases, director showcases, like stage readings and stuff like that. And then in 2019, I guess late 2018, I said, I think I want to try directing and see how that goes. I think I could do it. Because by then I knew everyone. I had and still have a pretty good reputation and people want to work with me. So I submitted the play Seascape by Edward Albee to Confetti.
Okay.
And I said, it's four characters. It's one set. 2 of the characters are lizards, so we'll figure that out. But I said, I think I could direct this, and like I know how to work with actors. I think I can help get actors to a place where they want to be for their performances. And Confetti chose it, and it just went so smoothly.
Oh, amazing.
The whole process went so smoothly,
Yeah.
and it was so much fun. And again, exceeding expectations. Like I was expecting it to be good, but I really have a soft spot for that show.
Yeah.
And in 2019, I directed 2 plays, and then in January of 2020, Frost Nixon that I directed at Schenectady Civic opened.
Okay.
So I essentially did 3 plays as a director in 2019.
Yeah.
And I think I did 2 plays as an actor in 2019.
Wow. Booked and blessed.
Yeah. And then COVID happened and shut everything down.
Right.
So.
Right. Have you ever gotten to direct anything you've written?
Not exactly. So in college, they had a this event called Plays in Process.
Okay.
Where they would choose a couple student plays, cast them, and perform them as stage readings. So I had 2 short plays one semester and then a full-length play the next semester. And I didn't direct them, but you, as the writer, you are involved in the entire process.
Okay.
So I could like give suggestions.
You're consulting. Yeah.
Right. And I was there to answer questions that people might have.
Sure.
And then a couple years after that, I want to say 2016 and 17 maybe, Creative License asked me and a couple other writers to write short plays for different events that they were doing. And one of the events was like a choose your own adventure for the audience.
Oh, fun.
So there were 3 short plays, and each play had 2 different endings that the audience would vote on.
Very cool. Yeah.
So I wrote that, and then the next year we did a play, and the theme was like 100 years. It was 1899 1949, and then I guess 1999. It was a New Year's Eve kind of theme.
Oh, okay.
It was like this change and stuff like that. So there were 3 short plays. I wrote the one for 1999.
Okay.
But I directed the one from 1899.
Oh.
And then the other 2 writers, which were Casey Palamain and Aaron Holberter,
Of Creative License.
they directed the other 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fun. Yeah.
So I didn't quite direct my own work, but again, we were involved in the whole thing.
Sure.
So yeah, I've never purely directed something I've written.
Okay. That's something you would like to do?
Yeah, I have to write something first. And unfortunately, that's the hard part.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always tell myself I want to get back to writing. But I always, I think I get in my own head about writing. Writing's tough.
Absolutely.
For anyone who has not written and like really sat down and tried to write a play, it's tough.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I come from my mother is a writer and she does a lot of novels, and it is so how do you just pull something out of nowhere, right? Like, it is endlessly fascinating and interesting to me. Yeah. Amazing. What was I going to say? Oh, tell me about what a producer does on the community theater level. Because when I moved here from North Dakota and I had done community theater there, but there wasn't really a dedicated producer, sort of just the executive director would come down of the theater and give it the okay. But there wasn't here, every show has its own producer, or at least that I've found. So what's that role like?
It kind of changes by director. I've produced for Ellen Cribbs. I've produced for Ryan Gangemi. I've produced for Brian Sheldon. All of which have different experience levels and different styles as directors. So what I put it upon myself to do is typically I coordinate photo shoots, production photos, and press photos.
Yep.
I have a couple photographers that I really like, and they're usually available, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And very talented. For Albany Civic, I make the playbills for every show.
Okay.
So even if I'm not a producer for a show, I still make the playbills for Albany Civic Theater. When I started producing, I was president of Albany Civic Theater.
Okay.
So it just felt like a natural kind of go-between from the production to the board of directors.
Sure.
Is generally what I feel a producer should be. That way, my kind of philosophy is to take the stuff off the director's plate that they don't need to worry about. Photos and press and social media. I do a lot of that typically.
Sort of the administrative
kind of
side of things. Yeah.
Or, if there's a issue in the cast, please come to me.
Sure.
And I'll be an impartial kind of party because I'm not working on this play day to day. So I don't know the dynamics of what's been going on. So if there's an issue or anything really, I try to make that happen. If there's a strike dinner, I'll order the pizza or, whatever it is, stuff like that. Okay. So like I said, it kind of varies based on director.
Okay. That makes sense.
Pretty much whatever they don't want to do themselves in that administrative role, in that management type role, should go to the producer.
Goes to the producer. Got it. Makes sense. Do you have a favorite role that you like to do?
It goes back and forth between directing and acting.
Yeah.
I love, as a director, I love watching my actors discover and watch how they grow through the process.
Yeah.
And I enjoy, as a director, you have to watch the forest and the trees.
Sure.
You have to go, as an actor, you're looking at the beat by beat, moment to moment. Whereas the director, you have to pay attention to that too, but you also have to make sure it fits into the overall theme that you're going for. And I like looking at things that way.
Yeah.
And being an actor helps being a director, and being a director helps being an actor.
Totally agree. Yep.
It's been a little while since I've acted in a fully staged show. I've done stage readings recently since I joined Actors Equity in 2023.
Oh, amazing.
So I haven't done acting locally, but I've been directing the last couple of years. So I kind of miss acting.
Yeah.
So, at the moment it's directing because I'm in rehearsals for a show right now.
Yes.
But it goes back and forth.
Very nice. Well, let's get into that. So you're here today to talk about Jesus Hopped the A Train, or is it Jesus Hopped the A Train?
It's Jesus.
It's Jesus.
It is
Great.
Jesus.
Okay. Which is coming up at Albany Civic. It opens September 19th. I don't know anything about this show. Give me a little synopsis.
It was written by Stephen Adley Gurgis, who's also written Motherfucker with a Hat, Between Riverside and Crazy, a ton of plays.
Yeah.
And he's very good. I was introduced to this play because Stephen Adley Gurgis is a SUNY Albany graduate.
Oh, really?
And the semester before I started at SUNY Albany, they did this play.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see it, but we read it. It was the first play I read at SUNY Albany.
Okay.
As part of the curriculum. And I loved it. So the general synopsis, the quick version is a young Puerto Rican man shoots a kind of cult leader.
Okay.
And he gets arrested for it, for attempted murder, because this cult leader corrupted his friend.
Okay.
Later on, that cult leader ends up dying on the operation table. So it gets upgraded to murder or whatever.
Right.
And the play takes place on Rikers Island, which is a very famous jail, prison, he gets put into kind of solitary confinement for his own protection against the other people in this prison.
Okay.
And 1 hour a day, he has time in the yard, and the person in the neighboring kind of cell is this serial killer named Lucius Jenkins, who is as a manic depressive paranoid schizophrenic. And he's got these wild monologues, and so they kind of talk philosophy about, you're no better than me. And it's stuff like that. And it goes back and forth between the two of them a lot. There's a public defender who's working with Angel, the young Puerto Rican guy. And she's trying to prepare him for trial and get his story right. And she really thinks she can win this case, and she's a very headstrong public defender. And then there are two prison guards, one who's nice and one who's not as nice, I'll say. So yeah, the bulk of the play is the relationship between Angel and his public defender, and Angel and Lucius Jenkins, the serial killer.
Yeah.
And their conversations together and arguments, and it's fiery, and there's such a great energy in this play, and it really never lets up.
Yeah.
It's intense. It's perfect for Albany Civic Theater because you're right on top of the audience.
Right there. Yeah. That sounds super interesting. So this is very cool that it's such a full circle moment for you. This is the first play that you read there. What initially drew you to this play, and what sort of made you think that this is something you want to direct?
So the first scene of the play is it starts at 100. The energy, it's like a page and a half, but the energy is off the charts.
Yeah.
It's wild.
That's important in a play. Sometimes, especially when I find I'm reading a play, it's okay, let's get to it.
Yeah. and this play, when you come see it, I think you'll know what I'm talking about. It goes. And it's the scenes are pretty quick, generally speaking. The energy's there. The stories that these characters tell are really interesting, and there's kind of the majority of the play takes place in the actual prison part of it, but the scenes with the public defender bring this kind of humanity and this kind of goodness about it. And I really liked that kind of juxtaposition of the evil versus I'm trying to save you.
Yeah.
And it's just really, it's such a tightly written kind of play, and that stuck with me. And the reason I felt like I could direct this is because it's only 5 characters. You can use a unit set, So like logistically, I felt
Yeah.
this could be done, Albany Civic or even Schenectady Civic or any of the local theaters could do this play.
Right.
But I really wanted to do it at Albany because of that intimacy that space kind of allows.
Yeah.
So I just felt, I think this is a good play for this space. And in 2025, it's got a pretty strong message politically, I think.
For sure.
That is also helpful in the arts.
Yeah. That's amazing. And you were telling me you're in rehearsals now and that everything is going well.
Yeah, every rehearsal we're making strides. We're finding that growth that I told you that I really love seeing in my actors. We're discovering things. I have a very smart cast.
Yeah.
And they are in tune. They're getting a hold of these characters. The cast is Joseph Mendez, Nelson Moore, Cecilia Gray, Tom Ingram, and Jody Green. Cecilia Gray was a classmate of mine at SUNY Albany.
Oh, really?
So that's another SUNY Albany connection. So
Very
that's
cool.
fun. And she was away in the city for like 12 or 13 years
really?
or something like that.
Okay.
She only recently just moved back.
Amazing. Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that at least when I do a play, I find there's like, I'm a musical gal, of course. There's like, you get to sort of get into the meat of a play more, I find, because you don't have to think about music rehearsal and you don't have to think about choreography. And, there's, of course, all these other elements. You still have to think about props and costumes and all that, but there's just more time to be like, what's going on here? What are these characters thinking? What's going on? Yeah.
And that's kind of my favorite part of the process. I'm probably the least musical guest you've had on your show. I've worked on one musical and I ran Spotlight for Cabaret at SUNY Albany.
Okay.
Which Cabaret's great.
Great.
I like musicals. But I'm not a trained singer.
Yeah.
I think I could direct a musical, but I'd have to be real choosy about which one.
Right.
But I really love working on plays because I like you said, I feel like you can get into the weeds a little bit more.
Yeah.
Or there's more time to focus on that is perhaps the right answer.
Right.
Because in a musical, there's so many other things, and it's typically so much bigger.
Yes, more people for sure.
It's hard to focus on the really small details of it.
Yeah. Yeah, amazing. Well, I can't wait to see it. Remind me of the all the dates again.
It opens September 19th. We do have a Pay What You Will preview on the 18th. Closes on October 5th. 3 weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday and Saturday at 7:30, Sunday at 3. The second Sunday, we have a audience talkback. And we're going to have a representative from the New York State Defenders Association.
Oh, very cool.
So like the Defense Attorneys Association.
Yeah.
I've done some work with them as an actor, so I reached out to them and I said, I'm doing this play and I'd love to have, you guys involved. And they were so excited to one, see the play, and two, participate in a talk back and discuss all they do.
Oh,
so that'll be really exciting. I really hope we have a nice house on that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming up. We got about a month.
Yeah, that's very cool. And yeah, I'm interested to hear what they have to say. When I was in North Dakota, I stage managed a production of A Few Good Men, and our director was a law professor. So she really got to, get in there and have these like nuances that I don't think other people would catch and things like that. So yeah, that'll be great. Okay. You alluded to this at the beginning, but in addition to plays, I know you're a big classic movie guy.
Yeah.
Which we're going to get into with our picks today, which I'm really excited about. But I also know you've developed a card game based on classic movies. Tell me about this.
Okay. So I've had this idea for a card game based on classic movies. I love classic movies. I'm a huge classic movie nerd. And, I've always enjoyed like games and like board games and stuff like that. So I thought like I want to do some kind of game based on classic Hollywood. So, it's one of those things that's been living in the back of my mind for years and years and years. And then one day, a couple months ago, I was just like, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
And like, there's a program Canva online, which is like a graphic design program.
Yep.
I use that a lot for like social media, like theater, social media. And I
Sure.
I make the playbills on Canva. So I said, I'm just going to make a card game like on Canva.
Yeah.
So the working name is Studio Tycoon.
Okay.
Where each player is their own like movie studio.
Okay.
There's a deck of cards that are scripts, and they're like existing movies. You know, Citizen Kane, Casablanca, every movie, Jaws, every movie.
Sure.
Ever.
Okay.
And the idea is the game goes through time. Like you pick a decade, 40s through the 60s or something like that. And there's actors, actresses, and directors who you draw at random, and each script has the requirements. This requires a lead actor and a supporting actress, and up to 3 supporting actors.
Okay.
So you put your movie down, you put your actors with it. Each card has like a cost, and then each card basically has a unique bonus.
Okay.
I don't remember a lot of them off the top of my head, but like Katharine Hepburn has a bonus when she's paired with Spencer Tracy.
Oh, sure. Okay.
And, you know, Humphrey Bogart has a bonus if he's in a film noir movie.
Okay.
Stuff like that. And then you end up using, there's 2 6-sided dice that you use to create your box office.
Okay.
One dice is your audience score, and one is the critic score.
I love this.
So if you roll perfect 6s, you got a hit.
Amazing.
If you roll snake eyes, it's a bomb. And that's kind of the random element of it.
Sure.
I've played it once so far with Kevin O'Toole and Elizabeth Corey, dear friends of mine who I absolutely love. We played this game. We spent like hours playing this game one night. And I didn't really know the rules. I just kind of had an idea. So we just kind of made some of it up as we go along.
Yeah.
But like, it was really fun.
Yeah. That sounds amazing.
Maybe I'll play it again soon.
Yeah. How do you win the game?
That was one of the things I didn't quite know.
Okay.
So we decided to put like a cap on like the time, because the game just goes forward in time.
Sure.
You know?
Okay.
So we said, all right, let's end in 1948 or something like that. So whoever has the most box office like money
hits by the end of the time. Okay.
Is the winner.
That's very cool.
But the fun thing is like creating these classic movies that everyone knows, but like putting new actors in them. And setting them in a different time. Like, Jaws came out in 1975, but it's 1945.
Okay.
And now it stars, Cary Grant.
Sure. Okay.
And it was directed by Alfred Hitchcock. So it's like, think of Alfred
Right.
Hitchcock's Jaws with Cary Grant and Charlton Heston.
Sign me up.
Fun stuff like that. Liz Corey had a very problematic production of West Side Story.
Oh no.
I believe James Stewart was the lead. I don't remember who played Maria, but it was not. It was a little problematic. It was of its time. It was of its time.
Sure. I love me some Jimmy Stewart. I'll forgive that. When did you? So you said you've sort of always been into movies. Do you remember what the first thing was where you were like, "Oh yeah, this is my jam"?
Oh man.
Do you have a first favorite movie?
My first favorite movie is probably Aladdin.
Sure.
I was born in '88, and Aladdin came out in '92, so I was like 4 or so.
That's right. You are right in the market for that. Yeah.
I think Aladdin was the first movie I saw in a movie theater.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember seeing it in a movie theater. I remember seeing Jurassic Park, which came out the next year.
Sure.
But I think I went to see Aladdin.
Okay.
So probably Aladdin, but...
Were you scared out of your mind as a 5-year-old seeing Jurassic Park in the theater?
No.
Okay.
Well, not that I remember. I remember being like fascinated.
Okay.
A big influence on... So it's strange. My parents were always older parents. They were 40 when they had me.
Okay.
So I always had like a connection to older things.
Sure.
And then their tastes were even older than them. Like my dad loves the Marx Brothers. Like
Sure.
he's not that old.
Right.
But he loves the Marx Brothers and like Looney Tunes. So like I grew up on Looney Tunes and the Marx Brothers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, I already mentioned Ace Ventura was a big influence on me.
Sure.
Robin Hood Men in Tights. But then, Terminator 2 Judgment Day was one of my favorite movies as a kid.
Yeah.
And as I got older, like I watched movies for different reasons. Like when I was younger, it was just, this is funny, or this a lot of explosions in this.
Right.
Like, the young action movie Arnold Schwarzenegger fan
Right.
in me. But then as I got older into like middle school and high school, it was more watching it for like how it was made. And now that I'm like an adult and I've lived life, it's like now I connect with like the feelings of the characters, and
Sure.
emotionally I feel like I'm more in tune with films now than I have been ever, just because as you grow older you just experience different things.
Right.
So yeah, like Aladdin, Robin Hood Men in Tights, Roger Reese as the sheriff in that, like looking back, like I feel like that was a big influence in me becoming a performer.
Okay.
I thought that performance was so funny.
Yeah.
And again, I used to perform it for my family. I had no idea what I was talking about in most of these scenes, but or Ace Ventura,
Right.
just being so stupid. Jim Carrey was huge in my childhood. Robin Williams, which is why I loved Aladdin,
Yeah.
the genie. I used to sing, you never had a friend like me,
Yeah.
or yeah.
Yeah.
So, I've always been influenced, and I have 3 older siblings. So like I had their movie tastes growing up as
Yeah.
well. So I was just fortunate to grow up in a kind of art friendly household.
Sure. Yeah. Seems very rich in the classics. And like, I feel like knowing the classics, you sort of appreciate modern things or things that came after it more, because you have this fertile ground, where all these things came from. Yeah,
exactly. I love seeing like where things began. Like I watch silent movies because there's a lot of interesting things, and it's like in 1925 this had never existed,
right,
and now it's in every movie,
right.
Stuff like that I really find interesting, the history of film and everything like that.
Amazing. Do you have a Letterboxd account?
I do.
What are your top 4?
I believe it is City Lights, Charlie Chaplin.
Okay.
Heat, which apparently is a red flag.
Is it?
When a guy has Heat in his top 4,
Oh.
it's like a red flag.
I don't think so. I just watched that movie for the first time recently.
I love that movie so
Yeah.
much. Lawrence of Arabia, and I think Casablanca.
Okay.
I think those are my 4.
Yeah. Mostly classics there. Very nice. Yeah. Mine are currently Singin' in the Rain, Stop Making Sense, Talking Heads,
Yep.
All That Jazz, and just recently, new edition is Gone Girl.
Oh.
It's a Wonderful Life for a long time, and I'm sure once I watch it again this year, it's going to be a Wonderful Life again. But yeah, it's the first time in a few years I watched Gone Girl, and I was like, this is a 5-star heart for me. I think this has got to go in the favorites for a while.
Saw that in theaters.
Yeah. Oh my God, so good. I love Gillian Flynn. I love Sharp Objects too. That's one. Yes, that's the miniseries with Amy Adams. Yeah, I love that one too.
After I saw the movie, I got my mom the book for a Christmas present, because my mom likes mysteries and stuff like that. So I was like, I think this will. She always brags about how she knows who did it within the first like 2 chapters. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah,
you might not get this twist.
Yeah. Did she guess
She
it?
did not.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's how you know. Okay, let's get into it, because I've just alluded here. So we're going to talk about 2 movies today. Guest goes first. Evan, what's your movie today?
I chose Singin' in the Rain.
Singin' in the Rain. In your email, you said, can I do Singin' in the Rain? And I said, yes, you can.
Yeah.
Please, someone talk about Singin' in the Rain with me. Okay, so for those who have not seen Singin' in the Rain, those poor unfortunate souls, give us a quick little rundown of what it's about.
Oh, man. Singin' in the Rain is a 1952 Gene Kelly vehicle.
Yeah.
The best dancing, tremendous songs. Donald O'Connor stealing every scene.
Incredible.
Debbie Reynolds' first movie.
Yeah.
I think first movie.
Definitely one of, yeah.
Gene Hagen stealing every scene. Like, it's just... All right. So it takes place in the silent film era. And the general story of the movie is movies are going from silent to sound. And how do you do that transition as a Hollywood studio, as an actor, as an actress, etc. Gene Kelly is a very famous silent film icon.
Yeah.
And Lena Lamont is his leading lady.
Yeah.
Lockwood and Lamont are their characters, or their character names in the movie. Lena Lamont, however, has a very not sound-friendly voice.
Yeah, very high-pitched, very squeaky, and it's very funny. He is definitely keeping her from talking in the beginning, and then there's like this big reveal. I think her first line is, "What's the big idea?" And it's like, just like, whoa, what is that? And you sort of don't realize that's what he's been doing until it's like, oh, that's why.
Yeah. So it becomes, how do we keep these two huge icons of the movie business together while hiding her voice? Mm-hmm. So one thing leads to another, as it always does, and they find another woman played by Debbie Reynolds, who he literally like stumbles upon.
Yes.
And they decide, we're going to have her do the voiceover while this Lena Lamont actress thinks she's doing her part, but we're going to just overdub her with this other person's voice. Mm-hmm. And of course, hijinks ensue, and one thing leads to another, as it always does.
Yeah.
Childhood favorite. It definitely belongs in that same category with, Ace Ventura and all them, for me as a childhood influence. Tap dancing, like maybe the best,
unbelievable,
maybe the best like dancing movie ever.
Yes. Moses Suppose this is easily the best tap number I've ever seen. This is my capital F favorite movie. And I've seen it so many times, and I rewatched it. I rewatched both of our movies again this weekend, and I couldn't believe how amazing I still think it is. I know every beat, and it's just like, it blows me away every single time.
Fit as a fiddle. How incredible.
And amazing. And I always get mad at people that say that it's a perfect movie except for the Broadway melody, which is like,
that's amazing.
That's the best part.
It's so good.
And it's like, and it's so like vaudeville too, right? Because that's what it would be. It wouldn't be this story put together. It's like this weird fantasy number.
It's the perfect Gene Kelly film.
Yes.
An American in Paris came out the year before, and it won Best Picture. Mm-hmm. And that's a Gene Kelly movie. And Singin' in the Rain kind of follows similar kind of beats. Mm-hmm. And, American in Paris has that 20-minute kind of ballet sequence.
Right.
And I think that's kind of what they were going for with the Broadway melody.
Sure.
Plus, without that, Singin' in the Rain's like an hour long.
Right. Yeah. It's not that
short.
long.
It's like 82 minutes or something like that.
That is a really good point, because there's also a Gene Kelly movie. I don't remember what year it was, but it's called Invitation to the Dance. And it's just 3 silent dance pieces, and they're not connected, and it's just him dancing. And I think he directed it too, so that makes sense that he just wanted to dance.
He incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, the for my money, the best on-screen dancer that I've ever seen.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
However, his co-star Donald O'Connor, who plays his friend in this movie, who I think is like the piano player for the silent films or something like that.
Yeah.
He matches Gene Kelly step for step.
Absolutely.
And in some numbers, maybe even outdoes him.
Right.
Which is impossible to do.
Right. Like, and I've heard rumors that like after filming Make Him Laugh, he was like hospitalized from exhaustion or something, which is, well, that's the story of this movie, right? There's the story of, I think it was filming Good Morning, Debbie Reynolds had blood in her shoes because they were just doing it over and over and over again. And
she wasn't a dancer before this movie.
Right.
She learned on the fly.
Which is, again, insane.
When you watch it, she's keeping up with these two incredible dancers, Gene Kelly and Donald O'Connor.
Yeah.
Plus, she's a good actor and funny and
voice of an angel. And,
right.
Yeah.
It's a perfect movie. I
100% agree.
It's so good.
Yeah. So why did you want to talk about it today?
It's probably my favorite movie musical.
Yeah.
I was torn between Singin' in the Rain and Fiddler on the Roof.
Fiddler is also great. Yep.
And my kind of, I've seen a lot more movie musicals than I've seen stage musicals.
Sure.
And those two were big growing up for me, as was 1776.
I've never seen 1776.
Oh, the movie's really great.
Yeah.
And I just thought Singin' in the Rain was the most fun out of all of those.
Yeah.
And it's a perfect encapsulation of old Hollywood, that kind of nostalgic kind of image that you have of what old Hollywood was.
Right.
And the movie kind of plays off of that, even though it's 73 years old or whatever.
Right. Yeah. I love a showbiz movie too. Like I always like knowing how the sausage is made, even if it's like a fictionalized version. And it's fun that it's like, I suppose now would be just looking back like 30 years. So it's like Singin' in the Rain was made now, would be like, oh, it's the 90s.
Oh God, that ruined
which is
my day.
A terrible thought. Yeah, but
it's like, here's Quentin Tarantino.
Like, I don't need that at this time.
Yeah.
I don't want to see the Quentin Tarantino tap dance number. I don't want to see the.
I kind of do.
Feet.
Oh well, all right. Now it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. If it was all the Reservoir Dogs guys tap dancing, I'm in.
I'd watch Steve Buscemi tap dance.
100%, I would watch Steve Buscemi tap dance.
And he probably can. Like, I feel like he can.
I feel like he can. Completely unrelated. I am so upset that Steve Buscemi has never been nominated for an Oscar.
I know. For Fargo.
That's exactly. Not even nominated for Fargo. Yeah. I don't know who I need to bribe to make that happen, but
he's great.
He's unbelievable. What was I going to say? Oh, so I was introduced to Singin' in the Rain when I was in college. I had a friend, Chelsea Mazer. She lent me 4 movies. She lent me Monty Python, Meaning of Life, the Beatles, 2 Beatles movies. I wanted to say it was Help and A Hard Day's Night. Love A Hard Day's Night too, and Singin' in the Rain. And I remember watching them all this weekend. I was like, yeah, I really got into Singin' in the Rain. I didn't sort of think I would for some reason. I don't know. I hadn't really.
Did you grow up with classic films?
Not besides like the obvious ones. Like I had seen like Wizard of Oz and It's a Wonderful Life and things like that. But I didn't really get into movies honestly until I got a Letterboxd account a couple of years ago.
Really?
And now I make it a goal. I try to watch 300 movies a year.
Good for you.
Yeah. And this year is also an additional challenge. It's also the year of Judy. So I'm watching Judy Garland's all of her major releases, and I'm about halfway done that. So
wow. That's a lot.
It's a lot of movies. It's a lot of movies, but like I did really well last year. I did like 370 or something like that. So, and not all new movies, but just 300 unique movies. So they can be ones I've seen before. Right. But yeah, Singin' in the Rain is my first repeat this year. So I've seen it twice.
It's so funny that like Singin' in the Rain has been part of my life since I can remember anything. And it's so funny that you only fairly recently saw it. So as seeing it at that age, I'm curious to know like what about it stuck with you? Because as a kid, I'm seeing all this fantastic dancing and it's just flashy and stuff like that, and it's fun. So I'm wondering, like, had I watched it in college, how would my kind of mindset have changed about it? Sure.
So this is sort of the story of my life too. Like I didn't get into theater until I saw the Les Mis movie, which is the Hugh Jackman, Russell Crowe one that is apparently bad, but I have a soft spot for it. And I was 17 when that came out. And so I was a big Les Mis girl, and then I got into, sort of other starter pack musicals, Phantom and Wicked, and, then you get into your Sondheims or whatever after that. And I feel like it's sort of been similar with classic movies. I saw Singin' in the Rain, and I was like, oh yeah, this is good. And then you start seeing, okay, what else has Gene Kelly done? And you see An American in Paris and things like that. And, now we're watching, I don't know, I don't want to, now I can't think of any movies I've seen. Hold on. Let me look what I've watched recently. Last night I watched Jackass Shark Week, so it's not always like
I mean, I'm like prime millennial, so Jackass is right up my alley.
Yeah.
All right, we're taking out our Letterboxd.
I was going to say, like,
I've been lackadaisical on my movie watching, to be perfectly honest with you.
That, you know what? That
I used to when I was
do sometimes
between like 2004 and 2012. I saw every movie ever made.
Right.
I literally would do nothing except go to school and then watch movies. Like
I love that. Yeah.
When Netflix was an actual mail DVDs to your house service, my family got it, and I had it so I could watch a movie every day and send it out the next day, and I would get the next one. So I would have a new movie every single day, and that's how I discovered every classic movie. I love film noir movies, and I saw every single one. That's how I discovered the Criterion Collection.
Love the Criterion Collection. Yep.
Like, it was awesome.
One of my ideas is just to start going through the library A to Z and just watching everything I haven't seen.
There's a lot now.
I haven't started. And the library has a lot of good Criterion stuff, too. Okay, let's see. Like, I watched Purple Noon recently. So like that's probably something I wouldn't have watched if I wasn't like into movies.
I watched The Martian the other day.
The Martian, with Matt Damon.
I'd never seen it.
Yeah,
it was all right.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I gave it 3 stars.
Yeah, that's fair. What else? Oh yeah, I'm watching a lot of Judy Garland. So I watched Girl Crazy recently, which is also really fun movie musical. It's her and Mickey Rooney, so it's one of those, but it takes place on like sort of this like dude ranch boarding school, and she's one of the only women there. But so she's like wears pants and she's fixing her own car, and it's like kind of cool. Yeah, my movie history is so funny because it's like we're watching a lot of Godzilla movies recently. So I have Godzilla against Mechagodzilla and Swiss Army Man and Train Spotting and very, very strange.
I look at my letterbox and I get a little depressed because according to this, I only watched 3 movies in June.
Oh no,
they were good. They were Bridge in the River Kwai, Rear Window, and The Searchers. So like 3 good movies.
Mm-hmm.
May I watched a lot of movies because the Criterion Channel had a film noir collection.
Oh sure, yes.
It was blacklisted film noir.
Oh, very
cool. So it was people who had been blacklisted who would make like progressive and like liberal leaning film noirs.
Wow.
And a lot of them were British because they like would go over to England after they were blacklisted. Or like John Garfield, the actor, was like, a very politically minded actor, and a lot of his movies were like very left leaning. So I watched it was like a 20 film collection. I watched them all in like 4 days. It was awesome.
I love that. I love when how they put together their like, here's what's coming up this month. And it's like a whole theme, and it's like here, or a feature on a director or an actor or something. And I love how it's like, you can dive into this thing and learn all about them. And sometimes they have like special features or whatever.
It's also the only place where you can find like commentary tracks.
Yes. Yeah, on streaming, which is amazing. And they have so much. They have a lot of like hard to get stuff. I watched a movie recently called Remember My Name, which is like has never had a home release. It's from I want to say 79 or something. Anthony Perkins is in it. Oh, wow. It was about a woman who is released from jail after murdering her like husband's mistress or something, and Anthony Perkins is her husband, and now he's married to somebody else, and she sort of is finding her way back to him to get her revenge for being in jail. Anyway, it's really good. But I love the Criterion Channel.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, amazing. We're talking about Singin' in the Rain.
Singin' in the Rain, and how I saw it as a very young child, and you saw it more or less as an adult.
It immediately wasn't like, this is my favorite movie on first watch, but I just sort of like kept coming back to it. And it's one of those movies where it's like, if I'm having a bad day or I'm having a sick day, I'm going to put on Singin' in the Rain. Because it's like, it will turn your mood around immediately. And it's also, now that I'm, diving into Judy Garland movies and all these old movies, a lot of old movies have not aged very well.
Yeah.
Especially movie musicals. There's a lot of blackface.
Ooh. I have a story about that.
Oh, no.
I was, a couple years ago, maybe 2022, 2023, the movie Showboat was on. The Howard Keel Showboat from the 50s. Mm-hmm. And I was watching, I go, oh, I like Showboat. Like I discovered that like I really like the music in this. Yeah. Rodgers and Hart and like
Old Man River, amazing.
Make Believe, like really great songs. And I knew that there had been an older one. So I was like, maybe one day I'll watch it. And literally like a week later, like Turner Classic Movies had like Showboat 1936 or whatever. Right. So I'm like, all right, I'll watch it. And I'm watching it, and it starts, and then here's Paul Robeson, this really tremendous actor, black man, who was very, very progressive in the 20s and 30s as being an actor of color. And he's singing Old Man River, and it's awesome. And there's like actual black actors filling the screen,
which is tremendous for that time period.
This is awesome. 1936, like hell yeah, like this rules. And like next thing I know, like I'm on my phone scrolling through social media, I look up and there's this big blackface number. I'm like, oh no, you were so close. You were so close.
Yeah. Literally two movies I just watched recently, and 2 more Judy Garland movies. I watched Babes in Arms and Babes on Broadway, which are like fine. And then the big finale in both of them is this big blackface number. And it's like, guys, And it's not even like part of the story. Not that it's justifiable at all, but it's like it's just like some whatever vaudeville number that could have thrown anything in here.
Same thing happened. There's one of those Bing Crosby Christmas movies. Maybe it's like Holiday Inn.
It's Holiday Inn.
It's a Holiday Inn that has,
because they do a President's Day number, and he does it as a slave singing about Abraham Lincoln. Which is why you see White Christmas more than Holiday.
You sure do. You sure do.
But yeah, and
luckily there's none of that in Singin' in the Rain.
There's none of that in Singin' in the Rain.
It's aged
very nicely.
Very well, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. For those who have never seen it, highly recommend.
Right. If you have not seen Singin' in the Rain, one, I feel sorry for you, but two, I'm also a little jealous because you get to watch it for the first time.
Stop this podcast right now and watch Singin' in the Rain and come back to us later.
We'll wait.
100%. It's worth it. Okay. I'm going to get into my movie now. My movie is called Summer Stock, which came out in 1950. Also stars Gene Kelly and Judy Garland, as I've been talking about a lot. It was directed by Charles Walters. Musical numbers were staged by Gene Kelly and Nick Castle. So the basic premise of this is Judy Garland is a farmer. I love Judy Garland in pants. She's in overalls.
You love blue-collar Judy.
I do love blue-collar Judy. I don't know. I love a woman. I love Katharine Hepburn too. I love a woman in pants in that era. A woman in
trousers?
Yes, that's my women in menswear. Which also at the end of this movie we get more of that too. About that. So she is a farmer. Farm's been in her family for generations, and the farm's not doing very well this year, and she's two farm hands who have been with the farm forever, and they're about to leave, and so it's just her and her housemaid Esme, who was there on the farm, and they're like, oh, we're just two women on this farm, what are we gonna do? And then she has this calendar on her wall of a tractor, and she says, I know what we can do all this work ourselves if we get a tractor. So she goes to the general store, which she also orders tractors, apparently, as a general store does.
Yeah. Where do you get yours?
The tractor store, which I guess that's what that is. And she is sort of involved with one of the like managers of the general store. They're supposed to be engaged to each other, but she clearly is not into it, and they've been engaged for like 4 years or something at this point. But the owner of the store, who is the manager's father, so it's his family business, agrees to buy this tractor for her, and she can pay them back if they get married soon, basically. So she's like, cool, sounds great. So she gets this tractor, and she like drives home in this tractor and sings this great song called Happy Harvest or something like that. Yeah, great. So she gets back to her farm in her tractor. She's super happy, and she's found that her younger sister has come to visit, which she expected, but her younger sister has brought this entire troupe of actors with her, including Gene Kelly, so they can put on this show in a barn, which is another great Judy Garland trope. Let's put on a show.
Yeah.
So good.
Let's put on a show combined with the show must go on.
Yes. Those two things happen together in this movie, as they often do. Yeah. But again, love that thing. So... it's City Mouse and Country Mouse. It's Gene Kelly. He does this incredible number by himself with just like there's like a sheet of newspaper on the ground. And he's just like shuffling it. It's so good. But like the pinnacle of this film is at the end when they're putting on the show and we get Happy. That's the number. Which is the number. The story of this movie is interesting too, because when you watch it, and Judy is sort of revealed and Get Happy, and it's like holy shit, because she's also has lost a significant amount of weight during that number because it was shot much later. Yeah. But it's interesting. So 8 years earlier, Judy Garland and Gene Kelly did a movie together called For Me and My Gal, which was Gene's first.
Have you watched that one?
I have seen that one. It's a good one. There's one they did together that I haven't seen yet. I'm saving it for my last Judy movie called The Pirate from 1948. And I'm saving it for last because I've seen pictures of Gene Kelly in shorts in that movie. And so that's a little treat for me at the end.
A little reward
after getting through all the Mickey Rooney movies.
Who apparently was considered for this.
Really?
But I guess he wasn't the box office attraction that he had been.
Which is so interesting because it's like, it's very, Judy and Gene are very A Star is Born in this movie. Like this was, which came later for her, but it was like, this was her last movie at MGM, and you know the addiction was in full swing at this point, and this was 1950, so like Gene Kelly apparently did this as like a favor for her because they had done so many movies together before, and so this was sort of like one of her last things that she had like gotten fired from Annie Get Your Gun and things like that, and then he went on to do An American in Paris and Singin' in the Rain 2 years in succession after this. So yeah, I think that is super interesting. And yeah, so she had apparently she had been in rehab before she went to this movie, so she'd been in a hospital and like was a healthy weight, which is why she looks the way she does throughout most of this movie. And then yeah, they came back later to shoot Get Happy, and she had lost all the weight.
What I read was they kind of did the movie, and Judy didn't have like a show-stopping song.
Sure.
And Louis B. Mayer or whoever it was like, what do we like? We have Judy Garland. Like we need something.
Yeah.
So they did Get Happy. But in between ending the movie and starting Get Happy, what I read was that she went to like a weight loss hypnotist.
I read that too.
And she lost like 15 to 20 pounds. Yeah. So like that's why she looks much smaller in the Get Happy number.
Right.
Because it was, 5 months later or whatever, however long it was.
Yeah, exactly. So there's also this great number called Dig for Your Dinner, where Gene Kelly is convincing all the other show folks that like, let's help out on the farm because they're letting us stay there. And again, another great tap number. And Phil Silvers is in it, being like his hype man. It's so good. So like
the combination of Phil Silvers and Gene Kelly is just like, who thought of that?
I know.
and how can I give them a hug? Like,
right. It's so good. Yeah, he's a good. Phil Silvers like has a tractor accident at one point. It's like he's a menace in every scene, and it's so good. So yeah, this is like not that it's like unknown music, but like when you talk about Judy Garland,
known,
right? When you talk about Judy Garland movies, you don't really talk about this, or Gene Kelly, same thing. Yeah. So it is so worth everyone's time. Again, no blackface. This is a blackface free podcast.
Hell yeah.
Now and forever. I'm taking that stance. I go through a lot of movies to bring everyone the good ones. So yeah, I think this would be a great double feature. I watched them as a double feature this weekend. Yeah.
Which did you watch first?
I watched Summer Stock first.
I think that's the move.
Yeah, I think so too. It's a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And I wanted, because I know Singin' in the Rain so well, I wanted to pay better attention to this one. So I had my focus eyes on for this, and then Singin' in the Rain was our evening feature, and I just melted
Summer
right
Stock
in.
is such a, we gotta put on a show. Like what are we doing?
Right.
Like she becomes part of this show because the actress.
It's her sister who's supposed to be the lead, and this other, they bring in a name. That's a big thing. We have a name. So they bring them in, but then Gene Kelly is the director of the show, and he's like, they have a fight, and so her sister and the other actor leave, and they're like, what are we gonna do? We only have 3 days. And Judy and Gene fill in, of course, and they get all the choreography immediately right.
Have the greatest singer and the greatest dancer ever.
They fit all the costumes perfectly, and it's one of those. So yeah, excellent double feature for sure.
Hell yeah.
Amazing. Is there anything else you'd like to plug while you're here? No? Come see Jesus Hop the A Train.
Come see Jesus Hop the A Train, September 19th. I'm going to be assistant directing in the next room, the Vibrator play.
Oh, very nice. At Schenectady Civic.
That my dear friend David Rook is directing. I'll be assisting him with that.
Yeah.
So those are the next 2 things on my plate.
Wonderful. Can't wait to see them. Evan, thank you so much for being here today.
This was so much fun.
It was amazing. Yay. Two Show Day is hosted by me, Diana Shabai Booker. Cover art is with contributions from Ivy McGurran. If you'd like to get in contact with us, please visit our link tree at linktr.ee/2showday.